One thing that was always crystal clear in my mind is that in this life, you have to write your own story. Now, I've been watching self-improvement content for as far back as I can remember. 15 years old is when I got into this. I used to believe that the success I wanted was just a series of habits, tips, and tricks, which I could use to build the dream life that I wanted. But I want you guys to imagine the structure of a building. Let's talk about a penthouse. When you're building something like a penthouse, there's multiple different factors that go into making sure that this building not only stands upright, but it doesn't fall apart to things like wind, etc. You've got to look at the foundation. You've got to design it from bottom to top, starting off with the foundation of the building itself, the roots, making sure that it's on a concrete piece of land before you actually design the building itself. And it's funny because this is a good metaphor, because when you look at self-improvement, take away the habits that people speak about. You guys probably know that you need to stick to something over 30 days. But let's look at the actual things that you need to do. Your life currently is a result of who you are, not a result of what you're doing. You have to build your character the way in which a building has the foundation first. See, your character is the foundation of everything else in your life. Success is going to be built at the same speed of your character. If you lack consistency, you're not going to naturally overnight click your fingers and be the sort of person that is consistent in everything you do. Consistency is a muscle. It's a character trait that you have to build up just the same way that you build your biceps when you're working out in the gym. Because what you actually have to do is you have to become somebody totally different. So how do you become somebody totally different? First of all, you need to have a clear picture of what that looks like. Let's go back to the penthouse illustration. Before the building is even built, the person knows exactly what they're looking to build. The meters, they know the measurements, they understand the foundation, they understand the roof, they understand where each component goes in the building to make it not only aesthetically pleasing, but something strong and something that's going to be marketable when it goes out into the audience. You need to take your life the same. You need to start building yourself up bit by bit. And in order to do this, you first need to know where you're going, designing the actual destination that you're headed towards. See, if you don't have an end goal which you're moving towards, then you're similar to somebody that's running on the treadmill with no end stop. But when you know exactly what you're looking for, then you know how long it's going to take, roughly what goes into making it, and how you can make sure that you get there in the quickest and most secure time possible. You have a realistic perception. You've confronted reality, a concept I've spoken about in my previous videos. When I was younger, I wanted to be a rapper, but the reason I believe my rap career didn't go the way it did is because I had all these delusional interpretations of what I believed that journey to success would look like. I truly believed that if I released a song on YouTube, YouTube would just share the video to hundreds of thousands of people, and as long as the song is good itself, that would be enough to basically get thousands, millions of fans supporting my work. But I was confronted with reality when I started this journey, and I realized very quickly that it's going to be a lot harder than I thought it was initially. I want you to look at your life right now. Picture yourself when you was younger and where you thought you would be at this moment in time. Have you moved any closer to where you initially had planned you would be by this point in your life? And if not, what's your actual game plan for getting to the other side? See, most people, if you ask them what their plan is, what it looks like, they can't really even tell you. They don't even know what they're meant to do on a day-to-day basis. They do know if they're doing something like video content, they need to post regularly. They know if they're going to the gym, they need to go to the gym consistently. Once they get into the gym or they start filming themselves, they don't know what to do next. They haven't figured out their audience. They haven't figured out who they're speaking to, what their channel is about, how it's going to look, how they're going to present it to the world. See, when you're becoming a musician, one of the things that people sign to major record labels is they're outsourcing a lot of the small tasks which they don't want the headache of dealing with themselves. Things like creating a brand image that's going to be appealing to the masses. You have to construct this. It has to fit your image, your background, your identity, your strengths, your weaknesses, and everything that you're trying to relay to the audience. This is the same when you're building your life. The person you want to be, you need to understand what sort of characteristics they would have. Anytime you find yourself in a difficult situation, ask yourself, what would the future version of myself do in this particular situation? And this is how you understand exactly what to do. As far back as I can remember, I knew I needed to write my own story, right? I knew the traditional path that I was on was not going to get me the sort of results or lifestyle that I dreamed of for myself, for my family, and for all my loved ones, friends included. And I always knew that there's some sort of road of mastery I need to go down, but I always would jump from hustle to hustle. The next shiny thing that would come in my way, I would basically jump onto it. Crypto was one thing. Social media I did for a bit, but I did it through being an affiliate, thinking I could just go on TikTok, promote some brands, and I could start making 50K a month. So the real truth is, to change your life, you need to start off with clarity. You need to have a North Star that you're moving towards every single day. And until you have that North Star, nothing in your life is going to look the way in which you think it will be. You're going to be on the same cycle, that treadmill, just running over and over again, never getting off, working hard. And 10 years down the line, you're going to have nothing to show for it. Make that a fear of yours. So I want you to look at the small things that you want to achieve in your life. Financially, maybe in fitness, maybe in your path of mastery. I want you to really look at that roadmap. I always say in my videos, the success you want is when you have the creativity of a Michael Jackson. The very first thing you need to be is you need to dream big. On this channel, I go into multiple different aspects that can help you change your life over a period of time. Mindset shifts you need, practical things you need to go through. Make sure to subscribe. Leave a comment on what you got from this video. Are you still on that treadmill, running and not seeing your life move forward? How long are you going to basically be on that treadmill before you get off and actually create a game plan first? My name's Tino, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's go.